Here we go. Oh man, I didn't even do the intro. It's clear we haven't done this in a while. You know what? Doesn't even matter. Here we go.
Guys.
Prediction? Yes, prediction. Pain.
Are you ready?
What?
We're ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person anymore. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just, I hate that I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, be being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go. Way
I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate
Good
you.
timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are Long Live Boxing EnVivo podcast. Siempre Manny Marrero.
Show no gringo Hicksa. Where's
Brother Hopper with us, but we're going to break down like it is, like it should be, the way we know how to do so, with some great topic in boxing. A lot of downs. Excitement across the board. And so it's been a little bit for us out here, but we're not out. We're just gathering thoughts, and you know how it is. Join a sport that, man, it's an awesome sport, Sean. We love talking about it, but sometimes they get out of here. It just gives the wrong perspective to those casuals, and with all the nuances and all the issues behind the scenes, and organizations, putting their hands into the mix, and there's just fights not happening. And then you get decisions like the one we've seen over and over. But we'll give our thoughts. But Sean,
Yeah, so with that being said, we had Dos Trilogies in your mouth. We had a little afternoon delight, with nothing wrong with that. And we'll take it. You know what I'm saying? Why not?
Why not?
It was they said it. We forget it. We check it out. What's up, Cray? Shout out to you, brother.
Woo!
Here's the support, man. Thanks for checking in, man.
Spit Bucket podcast, man. Go check them out. Awesome guys, man. Local guys they're talking about, and they've done an amazing job doing a lot of things inside their, the sport they love, as same as we do. Thanks a lot for your support, Baba.
Yeah, definitely, man, for sure. So one thing that I definitely know is usually the heavyweights kind of take the card, but we had an exceptional situation where my brother was leading off with it. Then you had Gallo Estrada, Francisco Gallo Estrada.
El Gallo.
Chocolatito. Ramon Gonzalez. And definitely excited about that. We'll get a chance to talk about, obviously, the big guys in there doing their thing. What's up? Love what you guys are doing. Simply amazing. Appreciate that, man. Checks in the mail. All right. Appreciate that for sure. But yeah, so Manny kind of touched on it. He's not completely happy with the decision. We're going to talk about it. I guess in reverse. We're going to talk about Gallo Estrada. First of all, let me just go ahead and say it was an amazing fight. I was entertained thoroughly, and it felt like the tale of two halves. The first half was clearly, I felt Gallo Estrada was in control, boxing beautifully off the ropes, had good control in the middle of the ring as well. But then I felt like the sixth round, he did allow himself to get on. I think, I feel the shift was actually at the end of the fifth. He got hit with a overhand right to end the round, which wasn't enough to make a difference, but you can see it definitely caught his attention. It's like it woke up Chocolatito. And Chocolatito, I felt like he was definitely mixing his combinations. He was sitting on his punches a lot better. and he just kind of really opened things up. And Gallo Estrada, he wasn't fighting as aggressively and as effectively off the ropes. And I felt like, you know, the second half was to me a clear Chocolatito fight. So looking at the scorecard,
it went full gear.
Now, so the 12th round, which, you know, the deciding round, was really close, kind of up in the air. I did lean, you know, Gallo Estrada. I could definitely see why. But then I was looking back, excuse me, do I feel that way because he just exceeded what I expected because he'd been doing so poorly consecutively? So, excuse me, it's kind of, you know, is really the tale of two halves. But you know, that was, again, that is my opinion. But Manny, how did you see the fight? Because I scored it. You know, and I'm not a professional judge, nor do I want to.
Me neither.
I saw a draw. But would you come away with, Manny?
I think I gave a slight edge to Chocolatito, considering that I gave the third round, which in my eyes, I think Chocolatito, that's where he started kicking in the air. First of all, before we put our emotions into this conversation, I have to say, man, Trilogy, they don't come often. And when they do, and then you see the kind of entertainment we did see yesterday from two amazing boxers. El Gallo Estrada came super prepared for this fight and compared to how he looked in the previous fights. And you know, Chocolatito, as always, he starts very slow. And that is something that he's got to work with. And until he kicks into the next gear, he starts making this first and second round. Gallo really capitalized and took advantage of you know, the jab, keeping him into a distance. And if you see any time that Chocolatito would try to come in, he would land a couple of good punches, but his defense was not there. He's super slow, heavy. I was like, man, I was concerned about Chocolatito, and I knew that he had trained well. And I think at that third round, that's where the trainer said, listen, you know, we train, you're not doing this. Let's pick things up. And then we started seeing, you know, things in a different direction. You know, fifth, sixth round, I think Gallo did fantastic, exactly doing the same thing. Anytime that, you know, Chocolatito will coming forward on attack, he would push back, he would jab, he would control the movements and make Chocolatito continue to, you know, to hunt them down. And but you know, then later on we did see what we've seen in Gallo in the past. Started to get out, Chocolatito kicked it in and another. And this is where the last half of you know, this fight went the other way. I know a lot of people had it, you know, big close tie. I actually had one round ahead, Chocolatito, not giving him that. I think the 10th round definitely, it was Gallo. Gallo pressed it a little bit more. I got to go back and watch it. But man, what a fight! What an amazing, entertaining. It kept me on my feet all you know, all 12 rounds.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly what we wanted to see from, you know, I mean, you ask something and I'll answer later on about a fourth one. I don't know yet. I mean, I think right now from psychology and what we learned about yesterday, it's not robbery. Okay. It's the, how do you call that? It's the humiliation and disrespect. 116 and 1 point, you know, and he had no business talking about that. That's the decision, and that's why we love Chocolatito so much, because he's up front, straight to the point, not criticizing. He's not you know, he's not a mean guy. Straight, get him up there. But that's the way he is. But at the end of the day, I frustration like, man, again, and I put my heart and soul to it. And I knew he needed a knockdown. You cannot beat a guy at the distance. You out. So for me, I did one ahead, but I gotta go watch the fight again and understand that. But great fight, great trilogy, great job performance by Gallo. I'm not taking anything away. I'm just a little bit frustrated, and I feel like frustration in Chocolatito. And we're like, again, and then we want one. I mean, Chocolatito has to go and knock him out. Other than that, he's not decision. It's just clear.
No, I hear you, brother. Definitely. You are breaking up a little bit on your end, but let me get to these comments real quick. Shout out to JC in the house, man. Yo,
JC.
He said also to you know, Gallo. Obviously, Gallo looked great, man. The first half, That's probably the best I've seen him in a while. His previous fight, not so much. So shout out to him for stepping up. And, you know, that's how it goes. I mean, if you step up to your competition, sometimes you can kind of get lax and fall and have some slippage when you fight down or play down to your competition. But that was not the case. I mean, I think this is, I'll go ahead and say it, you know, why wait? I think this is a match made in heaven. There has to be a fourth fight. And also from the boxing fans' perspective, if there's a fight they're willing to give us with guys that are still have something clearly left within the bag that are clearly relevant, clearly forces within the boxing realm, definitely in that division, I say go for it. Because one thing that I'll say right now, if they take a fight in between, because one thing that one of the members of Guy Estrada's team, his name forgets me, actually did an interview on Pheno Boxing, and he was saying the fight that he wants, him and his team, he wants a monster. No, I don't think that's a good move for him. That's no disrespect at all.
Oh no, not that he can't do anything against the monster.
Oh, no,
Monster got bigger, better things going on, man. Is he moving up? He's not, you know, after this unification. Yeah. But one thing for sure that I loved about Chocolatito's out, he listens and goes back to his basic fundamentals of that defense and try to scope you in, get you into the ropes. He had landed a couple of ones. Great counter puncher, but I love the defense coming back up and resetting back in. It was just a match for display, where I just don't know these judges were watching at times. I don't understand. But this is what the trilogy in this segment. I want to see a fourth one, but I want to see you know, these judges be fair and under. Yeah, man, he's not gonna get frustrated. I get it, because Chocolatito mindset is different, very, very into the Lord, very Christian, and he'll move with whatever decision. But man, he just got a break.
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing too. So, but let's take a quick look. Excuse me. Let's take a quick look at the numbers real quick. I cannot believe my eyes. All right, so taking a look, yeah, and JC's right, man. Definitely take a look at you know, there was you can keep watching them fight. So absolutely. You look at the number, excuse me. So Juan Francisco Estrada. So total punches, so 217 out of 778. Awesome job. So 28%, 62 body punches, jabs 25 out of 226, 11%. Power punches, they were both sitting on their punches. Definitely, they both had their halves, and you can see that reflected in the numbers. 192, 552 thrown, 35%. That's solid, especially at that size. I think that's very impressive. And that's the rare thing with them. Like, if you look at the punches, as far as it shows the punches landed, but as far as
look at that first round, that was first and second, that was very disappointing. Like, this is not the guys that we've seen them before. It's 200 plus total. Is that going to happen? I would.
Yeah. So you didn't think that was going to happen, and then honestly, the first half was so clear for, you know, Gallo, and you know, they're you know, I guess shout out, if you will, to the zone. They were already kind of singing and giving the eulogy for Chocolatito. Was he washed up? You know, he got old overnight. Yeah. Damn, man, we're only in the fourth.
I was concerned though. I was concerned that the second round. I was like, wow, is it really getting into he overtrained? I think I did post it in our chat. Overtrained, heavy, slow. What's going on? This is not the Chocolatito, even though we know he starts slow. But man, these guys throw 250 plus punches per fight. Is it going to get up there?
Yeah, definitely. So you're looking at Chocolatito Ramon Gonzalez's numbers. So total punches. So he threw 732, landed 201, 31 to the body, 27% out of that number thrown overall. Jabs, not a lot. 14 out of 182 thrown, 8% landed. Power, he's all about the power, 187 out of 550, and a 34% clip. So looking here at the rounds, like my brother said, Estrada was fighting through the first half of the fight where I felt like he was in most control. He landed 3, 9, 18, 22, 16 compared to Chocolatito 4, 5, 16, 20, and 16. And that's interesting to me because that really shows as far as them being a lot closer as far as like the numbers of the punches landed, but that's why our numbers don't tell the whole story. Definitely in boxing, because you can't tell how hard the punch was, landing, or you don't tell the effectiveness of the shot, the damage caused by the shot. Because if you just look at the numbers, you're like, oh well, it was close, which it was.
Yeah.
Number, but you can't see the differential as far as the per round. So that's what I'm kind of talking to there. So that's interesting, and it's always good to look at the numbers for sure. Got to give a shout out to our brothers from another mother, Bruce Gas.
Bruce,
shout out, brother. Salute. And got another comment here.
Dímelo, primo.
Danny PR 78. Good morning, fellas. Very few fights are actually worth having a fourth match. Cayo and Chocolatito was one of them. And on the other hand, there is no need for Fury versus Chosen 3. Wow, that's a great point.
Yep.
That's great because, excuse me, boxing is really weird. And like I said, how some fights are forced down our throat, and in other fights, are they going to happen or not, or should they happen? And they never do come to fruition. We have a treat, and it actually is a treat, where these guys are fighting, Hall of Famers, third time. And I think that, something special could happen in that fourth fight, but it just shows you exactly just how close it is.
Yeah.
Not a robbery at all. And it's interesting to hear the different perspectives as far as, I don't necessarily feel that way, but I thought it was interesting. Shout out to Mighty Max Boxing. He felt like this was a more definitive win. Well, first of all, he didn't think that Chocolatito won the second fight. He had Gallo win the second fight, which is not a common opinion, but he felt that
a lot of people had a very close tie, or even Gallo win.
He felt like this was a clear win for Chocolatito, which kind of surprised me.
Clear, not clear, I wouldn't say. I mean, he did have the most of the action at the second part of it, and just keep in mind, this is not his backyard. This was just this guy out his backyard, and so that's gonna take a lot. The crowd and I mean, anything visual out there, people are gonna judge or are gonna actually look at the fights a little bit, but I think right now is these guys know each other so much. They respect their techniques and their style. And if you think about it, hold on a second, my phone is sorry about that. If you think about it, man, I mean, is it worth to have a fourth one? Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason why there's some talk about that. There's a reason why there's a talk about that. And people know, everyone knows that Chocolatito, even though on paper doesn't look like he was a clear winner in some of the, for at least 2 of the 3 fights, a lot of people see it in their eyes, and even promoters, fans, even people around that are inside in the business, and that's why they're entertaining. Can we see a fourth one? Why? If Gallo Estrada would have beaten convincingly all fights, then that's fine. It's like right now, Wilder and Fury. Would you like to see a fourth one? No, because I think Fury was a clear winner in everyone's eyes, and no one really will care to watch that for other fights. I really want to see Estrada and Chocolatito 4. Absolutely. Because in my eyes, I can tell you, it's 2-1. You see what I'm saying? So there's money, and he said it. Si pagan. That's one of the first expressions is like, si pagan bueno, we'll do it. And they deserve it. They deserve to do that. So, I mean, he's got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. Hall of Famer, entertainer, amazing. This is I want to see it, man. I really do. But I'm gonna be heartbroken again if I see exactly the same thing.
See, that's kind of the thing, man. Like,
but do you know, Sean? Do you know a lot of people had Chocolatito like in a knockout, like at the later rounds?
What do you mean?
A lot of people predicting that Chocolatito would knock Gallo like in the later rounds, and I was like, yeah, I know he's got to do it so that way it doesn't go into the scorecards. But what are your thoughts about that? Can Chocolatito eventually on the fourth one, to make sure he doesn't leave it to the judges, can he really knock out?
Wow, that's a lot to unpack there. First of all, I don't see. I want to see a fourth fight. I think there will be a fourth fight. It's the most money-making fight for both fighters.
Hope they get paid, though, of course.
Well, I believe they will definitely get paid. But as far as like the knockout, man, I just don't see it. I really kind of see it playing out. I know the anomaly people point to is Pacquiao Marquez and something like that, but that was like a once in a lifetime century type fight. Hall of Famers, knocking each other down, one getting knocked out cold, going to a comatose.
Yeah.
I just can't see that happen. And I would love that. That would be phenomenal. But yeah, I don't see that happen. The power is definitely there, and they open themselves up. I mean, especially when he's off the ropes, Gallo, man, he leaves himself open like a lot. So the possibilities there, but these guys know what they're doing. They're on a different level. It'd be kind of hard for that to actually happen. Shout out to Tommy Rush, man. Vivo!
Woo! Wepa!
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You know
man.
what I like to see, honestly? I would love to see that Chocolatito and fourth, but can you imagine down there south in Nicaragua?
Yeah, that would never happen. That's okay. That's another thing too.
That would be something that I would say, man, I ended the career. People know what I've done. I don't know if Chocolatito's team is strong enough to demand certain things. I know they're going to do money, but can you imagine that?
No, because I don't think that would ever happen. Now, as far as like as far as like dreaming it and imagining my mind, absolutely. But the machine is behind Estrada. Clearly, he's the A side. They have him in the areas where he's promoted, and he's going to have success in Arizona. Even when he fought in Texas and Dallas, I mean, that was clearly kind of in his backyard, more favoritism towards him. But yeah, Nicaragua, I know they have pretty good following, like in LA, I believe. But overall, yeah, it would have to be Nicaragua for there to be like a clear advantage. And I would love that, and I would love for that to happen. That would be great for boxing. I just don't think that would happen. I think a farewell would be more of a lesser fight, not one of this caliber. But again, I would love to be wrong. That's the.
Would you think it would end up being a pay-per-view?
Man, that's a good. Well, excuse me. No,
I mean, we know what they're bringing to the table. They need to pay these guys. How are they going to pay them?
Oh, that's a good point. So yeah, to get them to that $1 million plus mark, to get a pay-per-view. Man, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not really in the sport of boxing business, but I could definitely see that. It all depends. I mean, the demand's really there, but it's also it's kind of weird too. Like I want it, but a lot of boxing fans don't want it. The same ones that wanted to watch, Tyson Fury fight Chisora for the third time, which is totally unnecessary. They didn't need to fight for a second time. So that's just kind of how we are. We're wired so strangely. We long for fights that'll never happen. We know in the back of our mind they'll never happen. When there's a fight that's actually has some possibility of coming to fruition and happening between two legends, and like, oh no, I've already seen it's gonna be the same thing. But that's where we're at. We're just kind of an enigma. We're a strange creature in terms of how we consume the sport we love. We're hard to please, and that's why I think a lot of the things we experience as far as being frustrated and how things go is kind of on us. But I think the response that Chocolatito kind of encompasses what I think he feels about it. And honestly, he'll fight for a fourth time if the money's there.
He's not going to show that frustration and emotion to the public. That's why I love about him. He just says that's unbelievable it could be and move on. You know what I mean? That was the judges. It is what it is. No excuses.
Though. Do you think he's frustrated?
I can see him, but he's not going to do that as someone who has the enormous faith that he's got in how he's walking in with the and that he's doing with his family and everything, his people, and the becoming a role model. And so that I think that he deserves a lot. He deserves to be respected for. I'm concerned about his health because he fought, and that, especially with Chocolatito. But man, other than that, it's just, this is once in a lifetime that we'll be able to see some of these action with two guys, and why not enjoying it?
Yeah, definitely. So, enjoy the ride and kind of see what happens. So I'm definitely
it's shifting into gears, Sean. I mean, afternoon, I know we touched a little bit on it. Afternoon delight, few fights in the afternoon.
In flight. Afternoon delight. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
Ba-da-bum-bum.
How are you feeling?
I'm Phil.
he was in the building.
He gets criticized, man, but he's the entertainer. He's the showman. People see him packed arena. Tyson Fury again. What? But he's still, look, Sean. What he's doing is just incredible. Not in terms of what he's doing in something, but people actually really eat this one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't question results. People definitely do appreciate and value what he's doing. He's got a strong fan base that are longing to see him get in the ring and do his thing, even if the opposition is questionable and one that, I mean, you talk about a fight that no one was asking for. Like, even when they gave it to him, like, please take it back. It still happened. Hey, what's up? Esmeralda, photographer de la gente.
Yep.
Yes. Wepa.
B.
So, yeah, but the fight did happen, so I don't want to sell it short. Congratulations. He got the 11th round TKO stoppage. Chisora, man, just won. Derek Chisora is so tough and gritty and just kept grinding it out there. It actually lasted way longer than I thought it would.
So that was my question. Do you think it lasted more?
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't. Man, it was over, like, to me in the
second round.
Yeah, and it just kept going and going out. I was like, man, I can't believe that they kept going back out there. But I mean, not from the standpoint of his heart or anything, like questioning his valor and being a warrior. Talking about Derek Chisora. I mean, the referee, like, look in his eyes or something. He looked bad. He looks bad all the way to me anyway. I think that's why he wears sunglasses, because he's such a warrior and he takes so much punishment. But it was it was another win. The highlight to me again was they actually did face-to-face. Usyk, we just dropped the clip on him. He was there. He was in the house, and your boy, the man of many, the king of many, did say that he will take the fight, but he has the injury.
Royal Rumble, and
he has to wait and see. So I know that you appreciate, as far as like the entertainment aspect of it, and the fact that he's embracing, the persona that he's created. But as far as like the boxer, what did you take away, if anything, from the fight? And that's not even being negative. Like, was there anything learned for you?
No, I mean, not at all. First of all, we complain a lot about, divisions being gone and not having that excitement. That's what we've seen in the past, especially with one of the top, number one divisions for years, which is the heavyweight. And so you have a guy that he's likable, entertains people. And I don't see why people are throwing away some, I'm not saying good quality fight, but good entertaining that keeps the division where it's at right now, makes it exciting. All right. And I think, he is a very exciting guy. He talks the talks, but walks the walks. So for me, it was another tune-up fight for him, which is definitely a huge man. He's still, I mean, he should retire, but you can see the caliber of a boxer and how much he has taken throughout his career. And so I take away completely of the fight is opportunity to continue to grow. You take Tyson Fury out right now, which in fact people were concerned with Tyson Fury had said, called it a quit. We talked about it. Is it reality? Is it not? Is it just trolling? Is it just marketing himself? Does he want something bigger? I want 500 millions to Anthony Joshua. I want, Usyk unification. No, I'm retired. And yesterday, I mean, my brain shifted, and I was like, and Hopper texted, I'm like, damn, yeah, the main event. So I switched, and I'm like, wow, I'm watching Tyson Fury again. We talked months ago about he had never come back. And so with that, as well as myself, I felt exciting about it. I'm sure there's thousands of people that want to continue to see this kind of activity going on and make it exciting for the public. And he does that. So that's my takeaway. Continue to promote himself, making the big fights. Not only he brought Usyk out and he did his show, but the other man waiting for also an opportunity choice. He was there and he had called and say, hey, I'll do a Royal Rumble. I'll fight all three of you, all two of you. So is it trash talking? Yeah, it's trash talking. But when it's time, to get in the ring and make it happen and deliver, he does that. So, in a nutshell, yes, guys, Tyson Fury makes boxing, makes the heavyweight more interesting nowadays.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, anytime you have talent in any division, it makes things more interesting. He's a personality. He's got a lot of support. I mean, you can't question the
Exactly.
support. I mean, look at the people that went to that fight and the fight before that. I mean, he went from a fight where I was like, man, no one wants to see this, fighting Dylan White, to another fight like, man, I really don't want to see this. And a third fight with Derek Chisora, but he sold it, and sold it well. And then for the the record, the fight that he had with Dylan White, I mean, that was huge.
Yeah,
that
it was
a stadium. The O2, I believe.
Yeah, it packed it. He backed it up completely.
Right. So that's you
Especially
can't.
this one, when I saw the entrance and I saw everything, I'm like, wow, man, this guy's man, just to think about that. So I see a lot of people kind of bashing him, and I get it. If you're a hater or if you dislike a person, there's for personal reasons where there's just a fake individual, but you like the sport. I mean, what's happening? Some of these guys that are bringing in entertaining and making things not look fake. You see what I'm saying? We would love to be entertained by Crawford and Pence. That soap opera, it's like General Hospital. It's way gone. Keeps coming chapter after chapter after chapter. Listen, you see what I'm saying? I put more of my focus in and be entertained with some of these fights. Last night, trilogy, man, I really got entertained. I could have gone, somewhere else and not watch the fight, but I decided to watch the fight because I want to be that person that enjoys the sport and be entertained by it. And so there's a lot of it to it, but heavyweights and what's about to happen. What would you like to see? I know that Joe Joyce was there. I think he's a man to win. And then Usyk, of course, for all the marbles. I would like to see you. What would you like to see? And if are we going to see any unification? Undisputed.
Well, I mean, man, if those are my options.
Nothing stops the juggernaut.
Yeah, I Usyk. I just like playing the juggernaut drop. But yeah, I definitely want him to fight Usyk for undisputed. Undisputed still matters. I know it's because belts got fragmented. 140 and 147 never got together, and 160 they just will not fight each other. But undisputed still matters, and I think we're still in that era. And I see the difference. When one person holds the belts, the other people have to chase that one person, forcing better fights. With that being said, both of those fights would be clear upgrades over what we saw yesterday. No shot to Derek Chisora. He's a warrior, and I appreciate what he's done for boxing. And please don't fight anymore. Like seriously, it's starting to get pretty.
No. It has to go.
Yeah, it's gotta stop, man. I get it. You're a warrior, UK. You got the paint on, and you get burgers at the end of the fight after you get your ass whooped. Come on, man. We've all done that.
I think it was a nice payday.
The whole time watching them fight.
Qué lindo él dijo responde. ¡Ay, mierda!
I mean, he's getting his ass whooped. He's like, oh my god.
Oh no.
I know you're hurting, Shakur. I appreciate you stopping by. Great job.
Shakur didn't even watch it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, just beating his ass. Just his defense is his face. But I say that respectfully. But
right.
All jokes aside, and I openly go ahead and say I'm not the biggest fan of Tyson Fury, but I do appreciate people that help bring a light to boxing.
Yes, thank you, Gringo.
He makes boxing better.
Right.
He helps make boxing, relevant, and people talk about it, good, bad, or indifferent. Now, as far as
don't ask me who do I want to win, Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Don't ask me that. Not now. If that ever happens, I'm gonna be choopity smeekity. Is that what I call it?
That was literally what I was about to ask you. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that there's nothing left in the show to do. I guess we can figure out that.
But the cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
That's what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna say right now, Pretty much, and this I guess is the true definition of a hater. I would definitely take the Juggernaut. I'm a big Juggernaut fan.
You gotta stand by it. If you give your prediction now, you gotta
no. That's not a prediction.
I mean, because the fight's not even
rooting for him.
But
go team, go. I don't think he'll win. But I would like to see that fight. And, both of them, honestly. Like if they were announced both fights, that would make my life would be better. This year would be better. If they confirm both those fights in 2023, wouldn't that be better for boxing?
Yeah, heck yeah.
Confirmed. Like dates. Buy the things now.
Right.
That's what boxing needs. We need confirmed dates, like schedules, like the NFL and other primetime sports. We got a comment right here from, all right, I love it. And did I mess it up? Sure did. All right, so Bruce, Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. The beef with Usyk looked better than the one with Joyce. Yeah. That looked like a work. Usyk should happen for the undisputed. Bruce, we know you love the heavyweights. I love your mind and the way you think. So I really like to hear and appreciate what you say as far as which one you prefer. Undisputed, man, all the way.
Well, but also you have a good point there, Bruce. Is it looked like the other stuff was scripted? Like I know this is wanting some spotlight, and he's there next to the unified team.
I think that the spotlight should go on top of me. Yeah.
He was up.
Then he says, "I want to be able to, have more spotlight, and I'm gonna jump there. I wasn't invited, but I'm gonna invite myself." And so he wants a piece of the pie, and then time will come. But the real is what we want to see is we want to see an undisputed, heavyweight champion. And so, Joy, you're just gonna have to probably take the back seat, wait for your turn, and maybe fight. Wilder is on the other side. I mean, some of these other guys to prove. So, but on the meantime, he's not going to do so.
Absolutely, man. So we'll see where it happens, where it goes, and I'm just a dreamer, right? So, but I do what he's doing, and he's adds value to boxing. So let's go ahead and go with final thoughts, Manny.
Final thoughts. What a disappointment, man. 3 knockdowns. He did his thing. He did his thing, but man, I was watching the fight with my mom. Saludo, madre. And I was hyping up Daniel Dubois, this guy. Oh, the heavyweights. That's the guy you're talking about, right? I mean, I've never seen him, fight this way. And South African guy, he had what he had. And then, Kevin Lerena was just on point and some of these things, but he got gas. He woke up Daniel Dubois and then, ended up, taking him away. So very disappointing at point, but at the same time, just glad that he overcame that. I mean, Ryan Garcia did it against got back up, but not 3 times. Ouch.
Yeah, 3 times. That's crazy. Yeah, so for those that didn't see the fight, it was a co-main event and one of the most exciting 3-rounders I've seen since the Boxing Showcase. Shout out to them. They have an event coming up this week, Saturday, and I'll be there eating popcorn in the house. But yeah, seriously, it was crazy. The boys wasn't ready. Like that first round, he was getting tagged. And it wasn't like he was getting hit by a clean. Well, the first one, yeah, the first shot, like it had him feeling pretty good, yeah. But the other one, it seemed like he was, just kind of like aftermath shots, if you know what I mean. Like they were placed well, but they weren't really sat on completely. I mean, he's a heavyweight, so everything they throw hurts. But so shout out to the boys for getting back up. Surprised that his opponent didn't come back stronger in the second round. But I think he was kind of being cautious because he saw kind of like a fighter that was in desperation mode, and man, that might have been a mistake. He should have went for the kill in the second round, because that third round, the boys was bringing it. So shout out to them. So yeah, definitely good stuff there. Another exciting week.
Boy, got Pacheco, man, 168, bro.
What'd you think?
Oh my God. I mean, 168. Look, you got youth, and it's great to see someone that eventually, will take over that division. Once Canelo moves, whatever, drops the belts, move to 175 and stations himself up there if he wants to. I don't know.
Retired
But
Mexican soccer team.
ooh, $10. That's just pennies in the. Anyway, I was very impressed. This kid's strong, hungry, 21 years old. He'll be 22 next couple of months. So I see things with this kid in 168.
Hey, man, definitely. So that's definitely ones to watch. Things that one to watch. We'll be back next week with our brother Hopper, and we'll make sure that we bring you the pain. Again, we kind of had a few things that we were working through. So I started the show early. I didn't do the intro. Hopper's not here. But hey, thank you guys for fighting through it. And again, I want to send a shout out to you guys for hanging in there. Man, people were still watching the show, even though we weren't on our A game. But you know what? It's time.
I wanna go home.
I do. I'm already home, so that's weird. Let's get ready.
Oye, Ryan Pino.
Hey.
Ryan Pino. Ya lo sabes, sigue papi adelante, porque somos apoyándote siempre en vivo. No.
Hey.
Long Live Boxing, they're awesome supporters of our show every Wednesdays. Please, everybody go follow.
EnVivo. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, como siempre, Mari Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Hey.
Always breaking it down like it is.